Was the Apostle Paul the original Antichrist? Former minister and Bible college graduate Jeffrey Daugherty raises this and other staggering questions from the New Testament itself. The Christian Whistleblower asks if Jesus' original message has been warped into a fear and guilt-based control matrix. Here's Ali with more.
Thanks, Seb. Daugherty's 35 years of research challenge everyone to consider new perspectives and ask themselves, just what lies behind my religion? Are we born with original sin or the spark of divinity within?
Deep questions, Ali. Thanks. The Christian Whistleblower. We'll be watching.
It's late night in the heartland. Thursday night. Glad to have you with us. Thank you. Thank you. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in an exciting world. We're living in exciting times. And I'm very, very glad to be here. I know it gets to be a hassle to some of you, and some of you are worried and upset. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fine. I know it's all going to work out, and all the crazy gloom and doomers can do what they want to do, but I'm still convinced the world's going to be better than it's ever been, sooner than you can even imagine, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it. It's late night in the heartland. The one thing we always want you to know is that you do not have original sin. You've got the spark of divinity within. So you don't have to go on bended knee to anybody else's savior, because you are divine, you're sovereign, you're free, and you'll figure that out as soon as you unindoctrinate yourself. I can do it. I'll bring you to the water. Hopefully you'll drink. I'll bring you objective truth. Hopefully you still have some capacity to think. And if you're here looking for answers, you're in the wrong place. I'm not here to give you answers. I'm here to help you learn how to ask the right questions. And the right question today is, wow, what's going on? You know, I've been searching and trying to confirm, but I'm pretty doggone sure that this is true. Pretty doggone sure.
Looking for answers. You're in the wrong
place.
place.
This is right. I can't confirm it, but multiple. We got people. Ron in Bangladesh is watching over on Facebook. Nice to see you, Ron, in Bangladesh. It's also nice to see Jimmy in deep in the heart of Texas. It's good to see Stephen wherever he is. And folks, my last vote, free me over on D-Live. Nice to see you too. My last vote before I left the state of Florida was for Governor Ron DeSantis. And I'm trying to confirm, but multiple outlets are reporting that there was a conference call today between Joe Biden and the governors. And there's no doubt that there was a conference call. And on this conference call, Joe Biden was telling the governors that he was going to restrict travel within their states. And Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, said, nice story, bro. Nice story, bro. Cool story, bro. But we're not going to play. They were on the call. Dr. Fraudchi was there. And Biden said, okay, let's do it. And DeSantis, the governor of Florida, and, you know, with all due respect to Nebraska, it wasn't the governor of Nebraska. With all due respect to Iowa, it wasn't the governor of Iowa. With all due respect to Montana, it wasn't the governor of Montana. With all due respect to Rhode Island, it wasn't the governor of Rhode Island. It was the governor of one of the most populous states in the union, top 5. And Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida said, I will not comply and Florida won't comply. And Joe gave him the, come on, man, we need Florida. Florida needs the vaccines. And then DeSantis doubled down. He said, look, if you try to restrict the free movement of the citizens of Florida and the free movement of citizens in and out of Florida. I will call out the state guard, the National Guard for my state. That's because the states command the National Guard in normal times. I will call out the National Guard, and they will protect the rights of Floridians and people in Florida to travel and comply with state laws. To which Joe said, well, I'll withhold all your federal funding. And Fauci chimed in, hey, you're going to kill a bunch of people. And Governor Ron DeSantis, my last vote before leaving the state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis said to Tony, he said, Tony, with all due respect, I trust my professionals better than people like you that are paid and have interest in the vaccine. Tony, let me ask you, says the governor on the conference call, how much money do you stand to make from this vaccine? And then Biden chirped in, and DeSantis said, Joe, what did he say to him? He said, Joe, I'm not going to do it, something or other. And Joe says, you call me President Biden or Mr. President. And Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, the great Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, said, I won't do it. And then, ladies and gentlemen, he said to Joe Biden on the conference call with the other governors, language alert, you can go fuck yourself. I love Ron DeSantis. We're declaring February 11th, 2021, Ron DeSantis is a badass day. Now, I can't confirm that. Multiple outlets are reporting it. Boy, I sure hope it's true. I sure hope it's true. But I know this, it makes for a great day. It makes for a great show. It makes for some good stuff. And we got lots and lots of good stuff. Let me share a few good stuffs with you, and then we'll get into our subject matter, which is going to blow your minds. This was sent to me by Tracy Dyer. And it's not just Ron DeSantis, ladies and gentlemen. Missouri County Sheriffs, and this is on my Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, at Unindoctrinate Twitter. Missouri County Sheriffs will arrest federal officials who violate the Second Amendment under Biden. Missouri County Sheriffs will arrest feds who violate the Second Amendment, unconstitutional gun control measures pushed by all three branches of federal government are ruled null and void in Newton County, which I believe is where Joplin, Missouri is. This is a great meme created by my friend Dave Weiss over at Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. Your mind is infected with cartoons. You can start here and go back to there. You can start there and go to here. They're all cartoons. And to believe either one of those is to believe a cartoon. Come on, guys, wake up. You're smarter than that. You're smarter than that, or you should be. Oh, let's share this one too, because I think this is really cool, and then we'll get into our stuff. I promise. Maybe. Not sure, unless something else catches my eye. Squirrel. A scientific theory is something that most people accept without looking at the evidence for themselves. A conspiracy theory is something most people reject without looking at the evidence for themselves. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? And it is true enough. I think Tracy Dyer sent me that one as well. And, oh, by the way, are they trying to get you ready for Project Bluebeam? I don't know. Let me show you this. You tell me what you think. In the UAE, which is the United Arab Emirates, the government bewildered the residents by, and this comes from coast to coast, by showing, that's not going to be good, by putting two moons up in the sky. You can see it was between these two great big poles. They projected these moons, but they're not showing us their real technological prowess. But they showed double moons in the sky, caused a lot of consternation. And I just asked, Bluebeam much? Maybe they found a cure for Jesus's erectile dysfunction. It's been 2,000 years and he hasn't been able to come again. Maybe they've got him hooked up. Maybe they got him fixed up. Maybe they got a little blue pill that will help his little blue penis return to rigidity at some point. I sort of doubt it, but maybe, possibly. Oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed, Christian whistleblower doesn't mean a Christian. That's a whistleblower. Christian whistleblower means whistleblowing on Christianity. Oh, you didn't know that? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Are you ready? Ready to rock and roll? I hope so, because we're just getting started. I welcome my Christian guest. I appreciate my Christian guest. You're, one of the main reasons why we do what we do. We do believe that Christianity is a fear and guilt, blood magic, mind control matrix, and we're here to show you why, and hopefully to get you to unindoctrinate yourself. Are you ready for this, ladies and gentlemen? Our subject matter tonight: Ingrafted. Ted Bundy, the Illuminati, the 13 tribes, that's not a typo, the 13 tribes, and Christianity, which I call Exianity, but if I put that on the thumbnail, nobody will know what it is. Follow the money, follow the blood. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages, and my broke back bitches who come here 2-3 hours every night to troll me because they can't quit me, and I won't give up on you. I've already proven to you, beyond the shadow of a reasonable doubt, no rational mind can any longer question the fact that Christianity is a communist psyop directed and erected, we went back to Jesus, ED, and created to allow the majority of the planet of people who should know better to sit back and not only do nothing while a communist revolution takes place, but celebrate the fact that it's taking place. Because if you look at the dictates of communism, and if you looked at how communist revolutions work, and then you look at the book of Revelation, the 6 seals on through the end of Revelation, where the New Jerusalem, which is a cube descends, you realize that the methodologies of communism and Christianity are exactly the same. I got videos on it. Take a look, or don't care. And the end result is the same. One guy ruling from one city with an iron fist, that's communism, and with an iron rod, that's the Bible. Well, that's because he's got his rod in his fist because he's got a laugh. That's funny. That's really funny. But the funny thing is that I can point that out to you, that it's undoubtedly communist and Christianity, same thing. And you don't believe me. It's because you're not in your rational mind. That's okay. I'll still be here as long as you are. So let's get into tonight. We've proven that Christianity is the same thing as communism. Tonight, I'm going to show you that Christianity is just part and parcel, not only of communism, but of the Illuminati. And of course, communism is an Illuminati operation. Let's talk about these Illuminati families. And these are names that you were really never meant to know, but because of new technologies, we do know these names. And interestingly enough, there's 13, they say, and this is well researched. Not saying it's definitely true, but there's 13 families that make up the Illuminati, we think. And remember, Illuminati, Freemason, globalist, New World Order, Lemish, it all comes under the heading of Sanhedrin. So, the 13 Illuminati families, and this comes from puzzle.com. The Freemans, the Russells, the Reynolds, the Onassis, the Astors, the Bundys, the Rockefellers, the Collins, the Kennedys, the Lees, the Van Dynes, the DuPonts, and the Rothschilds. Now, you have to understand, because we just did about a week on the Kennedy family, Just because a family is an Illuminati family, it doesn't mean that every single one of their members is a wicked Illuminati individual. Much like the Ziodoms or the Ziocoms, that those people from the other side that have invaded our world through portals. And I thought it was a planet Z, but I found out it's just a portal, the Z portal. Yes, they have that race, that group of beings has taken over our government, has taken over our politics, has taken over our banking, has taken over our movies, has taken over our entertainment, has taken over our print, has taken over our porn. And some of you are most upset about the porn, I know. But that doesn't mean that every single Ziocom, Ziodom, Ziodominion person from Dimension Z that you run into is a bad person. There's a lot of nice ones, because not every Ziocom, Ziodom is a bad person. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind whenever you're dealing with people. So there's these 13 families that comprise the Illuminati. And you know about the 13 tribes in the Bible. These are correlations you're not meant to notice. Jeff, there's only 12 tribes. 12, I say. Well, which one of us has a Bible college degree? You or me? Which one of us spent 20 years as a minister? You or me? Which one of us has over 100,000 hours of study in the Bible text alone? You or me? Which one of us has over 40 years of study across the spectrum of spirituality? You or me? Oh, it's me. I must be the best in the world at what I do. I must be le champion of biblical interpretation, with apologies to my friend Chris Jericho. There's 13 tribes. Allow me to bring you to some water, and you can decide if you'd like to drink. So, both of these things are just like the other. Illuminati, tribes, communist. All three of these things. So in Numbers chapter 1, we read a list of you say 12 tribes of Israel. Numbers chapter 1. Reuben, Simeon, Gad, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin, Dan, Asher, Naphtali. See, Jeff, there's only 12. Well, see, that's the difference between you and me. You read 12. You know, it's very, most of you've never even read Numbers. But if somebody told you there was 12, you just believe there's 12. You wouldn't actually go to Numbers and read it. And you certainly wouldn't read past that list of 12. That's why you're here, because I will, and something within you longs for the messaging that only comes from this channel. Only comes from this channel. This discussion that we are having, these discussions that we have, it's been at least 2,000 years since they've ever been discussed anywhere else. So I keep reading. And as I keep reading, I find this gem. But wait, there's more. The devil, you see, is in the details. And you're too lazy and too irrational, number one, to even crack a Bible. Number two, to read the book of Numbers if you do. And number three, to read all the way down 47 verses into even the first chapter of Numbers. So Numbers 147, and notice it's a 4 and a 7, which is an 11, which I find sort of interesting, but that's okay. And if you take 1 from 4, you get 3. If you take 1 from 7, you get 6. And of course, we're back to Tesla saying, know the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9. You'll understand the way the universe works. But be that as it may, Numbers 147. But the Levites, after the tribe of their fathers, were not numbered among them. Among them whom? Among them, those 12. But what are the Levites? They are a tribe. If they're a tribe and they're not numbered among them, which number 12, but they're a tribe, then tell me again how many. I know you're Christian. I know you're a Taino, which is a truth or a name only. You have trouble with basic facts, but 12, if you had 12 corn dogs, if you had 12 Cheetos, if you had 12 Snickers bars, and I gave you one more, how many would you have? You'd have 13, wouldn't you? You'd have 13, wouldn't you? So if Levi, the Levites, is a tribe, and there's already 12 of them here, how many tribes do we have? Thank you. You're welcome for that free Bible lesson that just blew your mind because you never heard it anywhere else. So, the Levites are a tribe. There's 13 tribes. But who and what were/are the Levites? Because they haven't gone away. Who and what were the Levites, ladies and gentlemen? They were the priests. The Levites were the priests. And what does 1 Peter 2:9? And oh yeah, notice again, it's an 11 and 2 9s. I'm just saying. Know the magnificence of 369 and you'll understand. The Levites are a tribe. The Levites were the priests. Peter says, I think that's funny. It's a Peter. But Peter says, you're a chosen generation. A royal priesthood. A holy nation. A peculiar people. Revelation, notice there's no S, 1 and 6 says, 6 again, and hath made us kings and what? Priests unto God. So if you're a priest, if you're a priesthood, then you have been engrafted into who? The Levites. Because what were they? Priests. And do you know that none of these were priests? Only these. So Christians, you say, according to your Peters, that's the problem with a lot of Christian men. They listen to their Peter. Your Peter told you that you're a priest. Your Peter told you that you're a priesthood. Your Peter told you that you're part of the Levites. The Levites are a tribe. So what are you? You're one of the 13 tribes of Israel. Christians are one of the 13 tribes of Israel. Christians are part of the usual suspects. And if you're having trouble comprehending this, might I recommend that you go to jeffreydaugherty.com and click on the Focus Life Force Energy or FLFE ad picture. They send high consciousness to your location. Trust me, you need it because you're not getting this. But if you'll get fluffy, it'll help you pick up what old Jeff is putting down. That's Focus Life Force Energy. You'll hear more about them later. But go to jeffreydaugherty.com. Click on that FLFE logo. You can get up to 30 days for free, but just buy it. You'll like it. So if you're a priest and your Peter tells you you are, if you're a priesthood and your Peter tells you you are, then you're of the priests. So you got to be of the Levites. You're a part of the tribe of Israel. And none of these other tribes, I said none of these other tribes, come on, man. I said none of these other tribes were priests. So guess what? You're of the Levites. You're of the tribes of Israel. Both of these things are just like the other. There's 13 Illuminati families, and there's 13 Bible tribes. The Levites are the 13th, and the Christians are part of the priests, which are exclusive to Levi. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's press on. The engrafted ones. The engrafted ones. The 13th tribe. Let me give you some background information on 13. Strikingly folkloric aspects of the number 13 have been noted in various cultures around the world. one theory. And when people have a theory, that means they've studied and they're comparing things. So those that study and don't just believe what they're told have put together this idea that the reason why the number 13 is so ubiquitous, that means everywhere all the time in cultures around the world, is that it's due to the cultures employing lunar calendars. Because there's approximately 12.41 lunations, that's a moon, per solar year, and hence 12 true months, plus a smaller and often portentous or really good 13th month. So most people think that number 13 is so big in culture because it's big in lunar solar calendars, and you got 13 moons in a 12 calendar month solar year. Just so happens that the Jewish people always have and currently use a 12-month lunar calendar with an extra month occasionally added. Why do you think the Jews reckon the day starting when the sun goes down and reckon the day ending right before the sun comes up, which is interesting because they start in darkness and they end in darkness? It's almost as if they are not comfortable with the light. Just an observation, probably means nothing at all. But 13 is big because of lunar solar calendars, and the Jews use a 12-month lunar calendar. Okay, Jeff, where are you going? I'm glad you asked. Because we're going to go back to your Peter again. Let's talk about your Peter. 1 Peter 2:10. Oh, yeah, 2 and 1 equals 3, but I'm sure it's just all coincidental. Once you were not a people, but now you are the people of God. You know what? We're going to actually show you this one in the actual original text. I know this is really foreign to you, and you don't really understand how to actually look at what the words of the Bible mean because you don't really care what they mean. You just care what you're told they mean. See, that's my problem. I believe that words mean things, and you do too, unless they come out of the Bible and go against your beliefs. I happen to believe that words mean things, ladies and gentlemen, and that what the words mean is what the words mean regardless of how you feel about it, and that the words mean what the words mean regardless of what you think about it, and the words mean what the words mean regardless of your interpretation. You like what I did with that? Of it. So as we look at 1 Peter chapter 2, verse number 10, again, we're going to look at your Peter. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse number 10. Do I ever get tired of that? No, not at all. Not at all. 1 Peter 2:10. In times past, you were not a people, but now you're the people of God. You sing songs about it. You pat yourselves on the back about it. You're all excited about it. We're the people of God. You ever hear the saying, giving you enough rope to hang yourself? That's what the script, you call it the scriptures, but it's just the script. And the scripture is just your script that causes you to have enough rope to hang yourself. What do you mean, Jeff? Well, let me take a sip of almost hot coffee, and I'll show you. I hate even to miss a little drop. That's why I have to do that. Okay. Now, Christians, you see how that's blue? You click on it, and boom, look at that. It takes you over to a word-for-word discussion of what this means. So, once you were not a people, but now you're the people of God. Boy, Jeff, you're taking a long time because this is big. I'm being dramatic. You are the people. What's it mean? God's chosen people. Well, what do you know about that? Everybody knows who God's chosen people are, right? It's the Ziodoms, the Ziocoms. But your Peter is telling you, when you actually look at what the word means in your script or your scripture, in your script, it says that you are now God's chosen people. See that? God's chosen people. God's chosen people. God's chosen people. You, Christians, are God's chosen people, who are the Ziodoms, the Ziocoms. What am I saying? Both of these things are just like the other. Both of these things are exactly the same. And you pretending that you're not one of them is just you playing some silly little game. What are the implications of the lies you tell yourselves, but that those that are unindoctrinated and those that are divine, sovereign, and free are actually able to see? What's the implications? Let's look at the implications. Once you weren't a people, but now you're the chosen people of God. 1 Peter 2:10. Peter's clearly talking to you, Extians. Extians are the people of God. What does that mean exactly? You just saw it in the text. Extians are the chosen people. Extians are exactly the same as the Ziocoms, the Ziodoms, the Ziodominions, the people from the other side, those that crossed over, came through the portal. I thought it was Planet Z. It's not. It's Portal Z. You're the same exact thing. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, not cousins of all ages, because you know that you're exactly the same. That's why you're part of the 13 tribes of Israel. You're part of the Levites. You're priests. You're the same thing. We're removing the mask. You're the same thing. There was a book written in 1976 by a person named Arthur Kessler, and it advances the thesis that the Ashkenazi Jews are not descended from the historical Israelites, literally the historical 12 tribes of antiquity. So the Ashkenazi are not part of the 12 tribes. They were added on. You might even say, I don't know, engrafted. That's going to loom large. You might even say engrafted. And according to Encyclopedia Britannica, Wikipedia, and several other sources that I referenced, and don't laugh at the places other people that do research when you don't do research. The Ashkenazi Jews were a Jewish population who coalesced in the Holy Roman Empire from about all the way through the first 1,000 years of history, quote unquote. So let me get this right. From AD 100-ish up till AD 1000-ish, the Jewish population that coalesced in Rome and in the Roman Empire are the Ashkenazi Jews. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't your Jesus character in the Roman Empire? Wasn't Jerusalem ruled by the Roman Empire? I'm pretty sure it was. I've only got 100,000 hours of studying the Bible, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that your Jesus character was in the Roman Empire, and he was there, like 100 AD. He was there 30, 40. Yeah, and then his church started, like in the 40 to 70, and it was there for like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. Well, shit. The original nascent, that means growing up, the baby Christians, the church fathers were coalescing in the Roman Empire in the 1st century through the 10th century. Wow, that's weird. It's exactly the same as the Ashkenazi Jews. Exactly the same. So let me ask you something. If Christianity coalesced in the Roman Empire in the first 1,000 years, and the Ashkenazi Jews coalesced in the Roman Empire in the first 1,000 years, and the book actually says around Rome and Judea, and the Ashkenazi Jews were added on, engrafted, and so are the Christians. Wow. I mean, I know it sounds cray-cray, but could the Ashkenazi Jews and the Christians be the same, even if they're not telling you they are? It walks like a duck. Jeff, we're not a duck, but you walk like a duck. You quack like a duck. Jeff, we're not a duck, but you quack like a duck. If you had one leg, you'd swim in circle like a one-legged duck. Like it or not, regardless of how you feel, Christians are inseparably let me start that again. Christians are inseparably linked, not only to the 13 tribes of Israel, not only to the chosen people, but they are inseparably linked to the Ashkenazi Jews. You cannot rationally separate the Ziocoms, the Ziodoms. It's not Planet Z, it's Portal Z. You cannot logically, rationally separate those two groups of people, the Ziocoms, the Ashkenazis, and today's Christians. They're all the same thing. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, HempWorks is number one for a reason. I know that you buy and use CBD. I know you wash your hair. At least most of you wash your hair. I know you ladies like to put a little makeup on. I know that you like to drink coffee. I know that you like to take vitamins. I know that you like essential oils. Why not get some of that stuff from me? Throw old Jeff a few shekels now and then to help expand this message of unindoctrination. You get a better product. I get a few shekels to keep the work going. Go to whistleblowercbd.com and help me while you help you. You can't rationally, logically separate today's Ziocoms, Ziodoms, Ashkenazis, and Christians. What does that mean? Remember, you're priests. You can't get around that. Your Peter tells you you're priests, and you always listen to your Peter. Men always listen to him, and girls are always trying to get one. So you listen to your Peter. Your priests. By the way, who made up the priests in Israel in the first century, second century, through the 9th, 10th century in the Roman Empire? Oh, yeah, that was the Pharisees, the Sadducees. And I'm not even going to go there. Just the Pharisees and the Sadducees were the two schools of the priests, of whom you are if you're Christian. So, I know you love the red letters. Matthew 16:12, words of Christ in red, red like blood, red like children's blood, red like the blood that came out from the God who killed his own son because he couldn't think of any other way to do it. Come on, man. It's a torture. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. The red words, the blood red words, the words of Christ in blood red, and Christ isn't even a word, the words of plastic Jesus in blood red say, they understood that plastic Jesus told them to beware the leaven of the doctrine of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. So even in your script, your plastic Jesus said, be aware of the leaven. And what's the thing about leaven? A little leaven leavens the whole lump. A lot of you people like to call yourself truthers, but you still want to keep a little leaven. A lot of you like to call yourself woke, but you still want to keep a little leaven. A lot of you want to call yourself aware, and you want to keep a little leaven. What are you talking about, Jeff? You want to keep a little cross around your neck. You want to keep talk of saviors. You want to keep talk of atonement. You want to keep talk of the cross. You want to keep looking at the Bible. You want to keep talking about Jeebus Creebus. You want to keep just a little leaven, Jeff. Just let me keep a little leaven. They say to me, Jeff, can't you just let them keep a little leaven? Your channel would triple if you just let them keep a little leaven, just a little bit of the blood. Can we just have a little adrenochrome? Just let them keep a little adrenochrome, just a little taste of it. Just let me hold my mouth under the faucet. They just want a little adrenochrome. Can't you give them a little adrenochrome? And I answer no, because your script says a little leaven works through the whole lump. So what's the story here? As long as you keep any of that blood-related stuff, you're not getting out of here. So that's why in a hidden coded message within the script, it says you should beware of the leaven of the doctrine of the Pharisees and scribes. All, not some, not most, but all the Pharisees and scribes were priests. Ex-gens are a kingdom, a people, a tribe of priests, tied in separately to the Levites, who were priests. And guess what? All the scribes and Pharisees, they were priests. It's called logic. Exianity is the leaven of the scribes and the Pharisees. Christianity is the thing that you should beware of. That's why I'm the Christian Whistleblower. And now you've been warned. What you do from here is up to you. And my give a damn busted, I don't care, because there's maybe some other people that aren't as stupid as you that will get the message, smell the coffee, and take appropriate action. If you don't, look, you coming around one more time. I hope it's not your last time. I'm done all I can do. I can't waste any more time on you. Oh, you want more proof? Okay. What did the scribes and Pharisees teach? They taught doctrine, didn't they? Because remember, the doctrine is the leaven. So that means any of the doctrine about blood and sacrifice and atonement and crosses, any of the doctrine of you priests is of the scribes and Pharisees. Any of the doctrine. Doctrine is what scribes and Pharisees and priests teach, right? Doctrine. What do Christians teach? Well, Proverbs 4:2 says, hear you children, the instructions of the Father. Oh boy. For I give you good what? Good doctrine. Who gives doctrine? The scribes and Pharisees, the priests. Well, that's Old Testament, Jeff. Okay. Speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. Scribes and Pharisees preach doctrine. Priests preach doctrine. Christians preach doctrine. Says Titus 2:1. And if you would just watch my videos about Caesar's Messiah, you would know that Jesus is really Titus. And they tell you right there, Titus 2:1-3. If you understood the magnificence of the numeral 3, you would understand that they're telling you that there is no Jesus. It's just Titus. And if you'd get off the tit, you could understand us. But doctrine is what is taught by the Christians, the scribes, the Pharisees, the priests, the Levites. And all your script, all scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for what? Doctrine. 2 Timothy 3, 1, 6, 16. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 and 3 is 9. 2 and 1 is 3. You got, if you know the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9. Not some of the script, not most of the script, but all of the script is what? Doctrine. Doctrine is preached by scribes and Pharisees and Levites and priests, and you're told to avoid it. Hold fast that you might be able to, by sound doctrine, exhort and convince those that contradict it. Titus 1:9. If you could just understand the magnificence of 1:9. But this verse is written about me because I'm here to contradict your doctrine. I've been called a contrarian. I like to think of myself as the happy contrarian. And I am here to contradict. I am here to contradict your doctrine. What does Titus 1:9 contradict doctrine really mean? Let's see if that's really me or not. Am I in the Bible? Hey, Cynthia, I'm in the Bible. 1 Timothy 1:9. It should be called 1 Jeffrey 1:9. Hold to the doctrine and refute. What's refute mean? It means to expose, rebuke. So you can rebuke people like me that do what? Contradict your doctrine. Speak against it. Stand in opposition to it. Oppose it. Contradict it. Is that what I'm doing? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But I'm telling you, what I'm doing is going to beat what you're doing. It's just a matter of time. And since I've started doing it, your numbers are down by 30%, Christians. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. 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 3 wows. Know the magnificence. Okay, I won't take it to that extreme. Christianity teaches doctrine, the same thing the other priests do, the same thing the scribes do, the same thing the Pharisees do. Therefore, beware the doctrine of who? The scribes, the Pharisees, the Levites, the priests, and the Christians, because they're all the same. And when I said that, it was 666 live viewers. Whoa. Why do you beware it? Because it's Illuminati. Now, I'm not against a little naughty every now and then, but I'm always against the Illuminati. I'm not even against some naughty in illumination. I like it with the lights on. But not the Illuminati. Because that's bad. We're told to beware it. Why? Because you're not getting out of this fear and guilt, blood magic, mind control matrix until you understand and contradict this doctrine. Here's what happens. Even your script, I love that. Your script tells you that he's going to give me eternal life. Yeah, but it's only eternal life for your mortal body. It's only eternal life for your mortal body. All he's promised to raise is your mortal body, ladies and gentlemen, just your mortal body. You're not going to be in heaven playing a harp. He never told you that. You didn't read the contract. You did not read the contract. You did not read the contract. Let me read you that part of the contract really quickly. You should have read your contract. This is what I mean by you're not getting out of here. Oh, sorry, I didn't know that I was sharing all that with you. If the spirit of him who raised plastic Jeebus from the dead is living in you, and he is, because who raised Jesus? The Father did, and you, like a crazy person, asked this entity called the Father to come live in you. If you're outside, if you're anywhere else, and you ask an entity to come live in you, that's called voodoo, asking a demon to come and live in you, demon possession. And not only one, you ask Jesus to come into your heart. That's one demon. You ask the Father to come into your heart. That's 2 demons. And your script says that they can bring 7 more worse than them with them. So now you get 16 demons that you've invited into you, not counting the ones that have snuck in and came in through apertures. I so want to make a joke out of that. Came in through apertures that you were unaware of and weren't guarding. So since you got this spirit in anywhere else, that's voodoo, it's demon worship, it's possession. But just because you do it in a church, and a church is so holy because it's got an implement of human torture on it, and you go in there and you pray for yourself to be covered by blood, and you sing songs about being covered by blood, and you drink blood, and you eat flesh. But if you have that demon who raised that other demon, and both the demons are now living in your heart, he'll also give life to your mortal bodies. Oh, shit. I should have looked that up. What's mortal mean? That which is subject to death. What is he going to give life to? You've given him your eternal spark of divinity. You've given that to him in exchange for having your mortal body subject to death raised again and again and again and again and again. You know what happens? Sooner or later, it's like a clone. And you really are a clone. If you're just getting raised again and again and again, what's the difference between you and a clone? And you know what happens with clones? Didn't you ever see the movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton? Who knew that Michael Keaton multiplicity was disclosure? Because remember, the more clones he made, the stupider they got. And every generation of Christians is proof positive. You're all stupider than the ones before you. I should say more irrational than the ones before you. And sooner or later, you break down completely, and you're good for nothing but fertilizing that 4th dimension to build more clones. It's in your script. Don't get mad at me, brah. Don't get mad at me, brah. Bruh. Bra for girls. Get it, brah? Bruh. Brah, bruh. Actions and the Illuminati. You notice here how it's a tree with branches? The Illuminati is a tree with branches, right? In Romans 11:24, Romans, Ashkenazi, Christian, you're Romans. It's the same thing. Roman Catholics, Roman Protestants, it's all the same. We won't say that 1 + 2 is 3 and 1 - 4 is 3. We won't go there. 4 times 2 and 4 is 6. I could do this all day. Anyway, you were cut from a wild olive tree. Oh, a tree. And you were grafted into another tree. Huh. You're like a branch. So it's a tree, just like the Illuminati. And you've been engrafted into a branch. The question becomes, which branch? Which of those 13 branches are you Christians engrafted into? That's interesting. And just in case you don't believe me, more of the words of Plastic Jesus in blood red, John 15:5. 5 and 5 is 10 minus 1 is 9. I'm the vine, says Plastic Jesus. You're the branches. The branches of what? The family tree of what? The Illuminati. These 13 probably all correspond to a tribe because they're the same. Now, probably not exclusively. There's probably some mix. But can you see, folks? If we weren't talking about the Bible, you would I'd be blowing up because I'd be breaking down the matrix. But because I talk about the Bible, the one that you Tinos can't touch, the one that you Christians can't touch, no, we won't go there. This is so clear. It's so easy. You got to be a moron not to get it. You're a branch. Christianity is a branch of the Illuminati family tree. And can I tell you, folks, that there's a verse shortly after this in your script there in John 15:5, and it says that all the branches, not some of them, not a few of them, but all the branches, and it's 666 again, oh my God. All the branches are going to be gathered together and burned. We win. You lose. Unless you choose to be divine, sovereign, and free. We win, you lose, unless you choose to recognize that you're filled not with original sin, but the spark of divinity within. We win, you lose, unless you choose to become divine, sovereign, and free and get off your bended knee. Tick tock, tick tock. Not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And by the way, since I started doing what I do, your numbers are down 30%. Literally, from the time I started doing what I'm doing until now, all of the Pew statistics, all of the Gallup statistics show that Christianity is down 30%. That sounds like I'm kicking ass and taking names. And that was when nobody was listening to me. 2, 3, 4. I remember the first time I had 20 people in a chat room. I was Jimmy Swaggart. I thought I was the big cheese. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. We win, you lose. So the Illuminati families, the Bible tribes, there's 13 of both of them. Christianity is one of them. You're not supposed to notice this stuff. But the question becomes, which branch of the family is Christianity? Which Illuminati branch is Christianity? Which Illuminati branch is the Levites? Which Illuminati branch is the scribes? Which Illuminati branch is the Pharisees? Which Illuminati branch is the Christians? Oh, I'm getting big realizations right now. You get revelations. You get revelations because you get information from some outside source. I get realizations because I'm tapped in to my own higher self. And I'm tapped into divinity. So I don't get revelations. I get realizations. And I'll take my realization over your revelation any day. Because you know what? A revelation is just for the silly idiot that got it. It's not for you. It can't be for you. But a realization, that's for you, and that can be shared because people can also say, oh, yeah, I see where you're coming from. So which family branch would priests, scribes, Levites, Christians be from? Which branch? Let's speculate a little bit, but just a little bit because it's all based on lots of study. Oh, did you notice one of those families? It was the Bundys. Y'all thought I wasn't going to get to Ted Bundy, didn't you? I don't clickbait you, brah, or bro. I don't clickbait you, bro. I don't clickbait you. The Bundys. That's one of the families. Which branch of the family is Christianity? The infamous serial killer, Ted Bundy, is part of the Bundy bloodline, part of the Illuminati bloodline. How about that? Isn't that something? They're certainly not the only serial killers. They're just the ones that got famously caught. Right at the end of his life, as he was awaiting execution, Ted Bundy called in Christian radio and TV pastor Dr. James Dobson. And if you remember, Dr. Dobson was known for his program, Focus on the Family. Do you get the message? It's all about the family. It's all about the tribe. It's all about the Illuminati. It's all about the family. So when Dobson went in to talk to Bundy, the message to those with eyes to see and ears to hear was, oh, they're focusing on the family, the Bundy family. Ooh. Wow. I don't know how I do it, God. I don't know how I do it. I just do it. It's hard to understand how you become the best in the world at what you do. It's hard to understand how you can be Le Champion. It is, but it just is. Why ask why? Why ask why? Bra. Why? And Dobson led Ted to Jeebus. And even though Ted Bundy raped and killed and then raped again, all those women, Ted Bundy became a Christian, and he ran into the arms of baby Jeebus and crawled up on his lap. That's how ridiculous, horrific, and irrational your beliefs are. I wonder if one of your daughters had been killed by Bundy, how you'd feel about Plastic Jesus welcoming Ted into his arms and hugging him with his little nail-scarred hands. Probably smelling his head like Joe. Ooh, Ted. This is what you call disclosure, real disclosure. This is real disclosure. And you know what's a commonality of most real disclosure? It's mostly uncomfortable. Oh, you could also make an argument for the Russell family. You got Bertrand Russell, who was a famous Fabian socialist, a big pusher of the one world order. You got the Reverend Matthew Russell, who was a Jesuit writer. You got C.T. Russell, who founded the Bible student movement, where we got the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Seventh-day Adventists, and it can be argued a lot of the Pentecostal groups. And other Russells have had leadership positions in the Skull and Bones, the Freemasons, and the U.S. government. So was it the Bundys or was it the Russells? But the Bundys had to do the public shaming ritual of becoming Christian. They had to do the whole dog and pony show. Ted's a Christian now. They had to put the focus on their family, and mostly you want to keep this shit in the DL, bro. You want to keep it on the DL. So the Bundys had to do it publicly. My money's still on the Bundys. It might be the Russells. And the truth is that the Christian Ashkenazis are likely spread throughout the other families too. In fact, it could be argued that they are the glue that holds the whole thing together. They're the vine. Oh, shit. See, this is what I talk about, realization. Remember back where that plastic bitch said, what did that plastic bitch say? That plastic bitch, in the words of the bitch in Blood Red, said, I'm the vine. You're the branches. What does a vine do? Anybody? What does a vine do? What does a vine do? A vine winds itself around through all the branches. I didn't say he was a vine. He said he was a vine. What does the vine do? What does the vine do? The vine winds its way through all the branches of the Illuminati family, which is the same thing as all the branches of the 13 tribes. The vine, the Jesus, the plastic Jeebus virus winds its way around and through all of the branches. And that's good news for people that love the truth, because that's another reason why we win, because the nature of a vine is it's parasitic, and sooner or later the vine will choke out the very branches that sustain it. Wow. Wow. I am absolutely killing it up here. I am absolutely crushing. Wow. The Levites are probably the Bundys. The Christians are probably the Bundys. Focus on the family. But they're also likely the vine that holds the whole thing together. Oh, we're just trying to hold it together. No, they're choking the life out of it. The Bundys and the Russells make the glue. And if you're a Christian, hey, that's you. There's 13 Illuminati families. There's 13 biblical tribes. Exianity is the 13th tribe. Exianity is the 13th family. Ergo, Exianity is the Illuminati. And we have undoubtedly identified Exianity as the scribes and the Pharisees. We have inextricably woven the Exianity as complicit and part of the chosen people. Evidence suggests they are the Bundys. You are the Bundys. And you're also choking out all the branches on the tree. Welcome to Disclosure. How do you like it? How do you like it so far? That's what Ingrafted means. That's what Ted Bundy means. That's what Illuminati means. 13 tribes, Christianity. Christianity is part of the 13 tribes, part of the Illuminati, probably the Bundy family. And they've been engrafted. And all you have to do is follow the money and follow the blood. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that's called killing it. That's called flat killing it. Flat killing it. Wow. Wow. Some of you out there are convinced you're smarter than me. And you might be. Some of you are convinced that I'm wrong and you're right, and that could possibly be. Some of you have answers. Some of you have questions. If you can be polite, if you can be interesting, I've opened up the phone lines. And like nobody else on YouTube, none of these great prophets, none of these anointed teachers, none of these people that see the future, none of these people that talk to fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, and all kind of other entities, none of them open up their phone lines 10 hours a week. But here I am. Where are you at? Bro. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
What's going on, Jeff? How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you? And what's on your mind?
I'm doing good. Hey, I got something new for you, man. I'm thinking since Trump is a Christian in name only, he's a Chino.
He is a Chino. I like it. A Cino or a Chino?
Yep.
Is that it?
Well, you also got a bitch in name only, too. That's a good one.
A bitch in name only. How would you define a bitch in name only?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I got to think about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, 369.
369, bro. Thanks. That's a great call. I like it. A lot of entertainment value. Interesting. Boom, bang. He did it. It's late night in the Heartland. You're like, oh, you're still with me. Sorry. Take care, bro.
Later.
All right. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeffrey Daugherty. How you doing?
Excelente. What's on your mind?
You know, I want to just say last night's show was really amazing.
Thank you.
And it's funny because running up to the show for 2 days, the word wanderer was in my head.
Interesting. And we talked about that last night, didn't we?
We sure did. And the thing is it popped into my head, and I wasn't thinking about your show.
Right.
Right. And in fact, I hadn't watched your show in probably over a week, although I do watch your show pretty regularly. But for some reason, I was like, hey, let me watch the show tonight. And then the whole thing was about wonder.
It's amazing. I mean, when you start getting hanging out with people, for better or worse, which is interesting, you start getting into the same frequency, you start getting into the same focus, and you start tapping in to the same ether, and you start getting the same, even the script says when you're of the same mind when you're gathered together. So that's a tell, isn't it?
That's amazing. And actually the black hand and white hand were also, I saw that on a Black Lives Matter poster also before, and that also just jumped out at me, and it was in my mind, and then you talked about that too.
And that hit me. It's funny because like the day before that hit me, and I'm sure I've heard this before, but the checkerboard, black and white, oh, that's Illuminati, that's terrible. But it is, but it also shows us that even within Illuminati, even within Ziodom, Ziocom, there is both good and bad. So we can't draw a broad brush and say all these people are bad. We just can't do it.
Right. Hey, I wanted to ask you one thing. Have you ever heard of the term Meandros?
I have, but I can't remember where I heard it or what it was in reference to.
It's an ancient Greek concept, and it's actually stems from a river that the name is Meandros, and then the word is the etymology of the English word to meander.
Ooh, so just kind of wander. And remember the great bumper sticker, not all that wander are lost.
Well, it's more than meander. In ancient Greece, it was like the path of life. It was like the drama of your life. It was really a big, important concept.
And that's not a straight line, is it? Typically.
No. The Meander River is famous for its jaggedness and the mountains that it goes through. It's a very dramatic symbol.
Sounds like life. Great call. Thanks for it. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff. It's Shailene.
Hey, Shailene. Let me just say real quick, don't feel offended if I cut you off, because I can see my board. We've got tons of, not you particularly, I'm just talking to everybody. We got tons of people lined up. So as we're, stay, because as we're talking and we get to a good point and the host determines this would be a great place to move on, I do. It doesn't mean that I don't like what you're saying. Okay, back to your call, Shailene. What's up with you?
Well, it's fascinating, the correlation that you're making. And when they announced the pandemic, I pulled out my laptop and started saying, okay, let's go to world history. What
good thing?
The 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati. Like, you didn't even have to look very far.
Say that one more time. I was lost in the chat. Tell me say your last 3 sentences over again, please. Sorry.
When they announced the pandemic and
right.
I started looking up world history to make a correlation, it was like immediately in my face about the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati. That's what came up immediately.
Yep.
And so it's an interesting correlation. Okay, so can we ask the rods? Is the Q a PSYOP operation to make us all go crazy?
Is Fight Club, we say Fight Club so we don't get in trouble, is Fight Club a PSYOP? And the rods say no.
Okay, great.
I agree with you. That's good news. And no, I don't think it's a PSYOP.
Yes.
And I thank you for that great call. And it's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. Please stop
Jeff,
dribbling the phone.
I just got turned on to your show last night.
Oh, wow.
Right?
How you like it so far?
It's absolutely fucking awesome.
I love it.
Now, I need more time than your fucking gong here, brother.
Okay.
where to begin? I saw your show last night about JFK Jr. Okay. Now you talked about the Q. Now
Fight Club.
Yes, I'm sorry, Fight Club. If you also, I believe, if you look at Princess Diana.
Ooh, you know, I haven't looked at Princess
also
Diana.
In a queue?
Fight Club.
Okay, look. Yes, Fight Club. Another thing. Have you ever discussed about the funerals of George Bush Sr., John McCain, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
No, that's a good idea.
Okay. If you watch their funerals, you will see that they had a dishonorable funeral.
I know McCain did for sure. McCain had the wrinkled flag.
And so did Senior, and so did Ginsburg.
I did see. I haven't looked at him.
I watched my own dad's funeral, who served in the military, and he had a clean pressed, wrapped casket of the flag.
Oh, that's right. They were wrinkled and draped.
Correct.
Oh, that's because they're undone.
So
they're undone. Oh shit, bro.
They were traitors to the Republic.
Absolutely.
Okay. Period. I mean, brother, I could talk to you for hours and go over what I have found for the past year and a half.
Interesting.
But these are little things that people need to wake up on.
Yes,
if
they are.
Don't realize that we are being controlled, okay, by our leaders. Our leaders have become dictators. Plain and simple.
Yep.
We are governed or ruled by them. That's not how the Constitution was created.
By the way, I just put my email in the chat room, so you can always send me stuff there.
Okay. I will, because, man, there's so much.
I didn't mean to break your roll. Keep going. I'll give you a little more time. Keep going. This is really good.
Okay. Oh, man. Oh,
they are dictators. It's not the way the Constitution meant it to be.
Absolutely.
That's what you were saying. I was trying to start your engine again.
How is it that they can go through this impeachment process, violating the Constitution, and they know they are? Plain and simple. They don't go by the Constitution. They go by their own rules. And it's wrong.
And
plain and simple.
You know why they can do it?
Why is that?
Because we let them get away with it.
You're damn right. And all of this about the mask, the virus, it's all a staged event for the New World Order.
Absolutely.
For the UN agenda. Plain and simple. And if people don't wake the hell up and realize it, you're seeing the truth come out about the true death rates and mortality rates of those that truly died of COVID versus those who died of other means. It's all coming out, brother. It's slow. It's drip, drip, drip.
And you know what just hit me? You know the old saying, it's as plain as the nose on your face? But with the mask, you can't see the nose on your face. They're trying to cover it up.
People are asleep. They've got to wake up. They are sheeple. And if they don't wake up and realize that we are going to be taken over, we need to stand again up for us. And like you said, the third revolution will come.
Just a matter of when, not if.
That's right. You take a look at these bills that are coming in right now for Congress and them. They want to have mental background checks and everything else.
It's horrible.
All of this goes against the Constitution. These people are out of line.
They are.
And there will come a day where they cannot walk down the street. And when it comes to the children and the blood and all of it, oh my God, these people are just fucking sick.
They are 100%.
Adrenochrome. I mean, it's literally, and people think that, because it's man-made, it's something. Bullshit. These sick bastards drink it and eat it.
And the more I think about it, The reason that Christianity is all about the blood is because Christianity is all about adrenochrome, and that's why it's so hard to get people out of it, because they're hooked on adrenochrome.
And why do you think when you go up for your sacrilegious rites or whatever they are? I'm not Catholic. I'm not even baptized. I believe in faith of yourself. But when they give you the wine, here is the blood of Jesus. Here is the bread. Here is his body. Drink and eat me.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Alice through the looking glass. Eat me, drink me.
It does.
Really?
It
It's
does.
fucked up.
It's a wreck.
Man,
You got anything else on your mind?
It is. No, that's it right now, but I'll try to send some stuff to you, man.
Thanks, and keep calling back. I love it. Take care. Thank you very much.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Bye-bye. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, I just got an idea from the last call. What if Revelations is supposed to be revolutions?
Well, there's no S. It's just revelation. So what didn't the Beatles say? We gotta have a revolution. Blah blah. I don't know what
You
they
say
said.
you want a revelation.
You want a
You say you want a revelation.
So that's it. You know, that's the two different people. God, that's so good. That's the two different people in this world today. Some of you say you want a revelation. Some people want a revelation. The rest of us who know what's going on, we want a revolution.
You're the man.
Beautiful. Thank you. That was powerful. Damn, sons and daughters, we're rocking. All righty. Thanks for holding on so long. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Yeah, what's up? Adam from STL. I love the show tonight, Jeff.
Thank you, brother.
The bras and the bros are fucking killing me, dude. That's hilarious.
I just came to me.
The way you say it, dude, is hilarious. It rolls off the tongue pretty good. Anyways, I was going to mention that something that's really sticking to me and resonates tonight is the script. You keep on saying the script and how anybody could be revealed. You can't reveal anything without there being a script beforehand. So that's why it's all fucking big farce anyways.
Yeah.
They can reveal at any point in time because they already wrote the script.
Yeah.
So they're going to fool you either way.
Absolutely.
And that really resonates with me, man. I appreciate the constant chant of script.
Yep, and it's not you, but to them, when I'm talking to them, I say that's your script. It's not my script.
Yeah, incorrect. And they could really write history through with it.
Absolutely.
That's what they've been doing. It's pretty scary.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
You know, Jeffrey, you keep me up late at night, night after night.
Well, I prefer a beautiful woman saying that to me, but thanks, brah.
Yeah, me too. But I tell you, this is Sandalphon from Mount Shasta.
Oh, nice to see you again. Hear you again.
I talked to you a couple of times before.
You did.
It's hard to get through the phone lines to speak to you, and
you know, that's a good problem to have, I guess. When I started this, I was afraid that nobody would call, but our problem is that we have too many calls, and that's a great problem to have.
Well, you know, you got me hooked to stay up all night long when I should be sleeping.
Well,
so I listen to your show and try to call in. So I got to get myself composed, and I'm confused. You know, that was amazing stuff about you had about John Kennedy or Joseph Kennedy. I was hoping you would do an expose on that, and you did.
Well, I appreciate it. We did a whole week of it, and, you know, always continue to call back. You're welcome anytime. Again, we try to get a few points in from each caller and then just move on so everybody gets a chance. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. Whoops, I missed him. Pop back up. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, hey, guys.
Hey, Joe, what's up?
So, I got a question for you.
Okay.
So, you know about the concept of if a family member has the amount, the blood of plastic Jesus, and so too does all family members, including the ones who are asserting that they are divine, sovereign, and free. Can that still be asserted?
Well, that is something that is asserted in the script, Joe. I think it's specifically directed in the script. It's a great question. It's specifically directed in the script to wives. If you're a wife, it's going to cover your husband. It's going to cover your family if you get the blood. The script says that, but I don't accept that. And neither, in my opinion, should you. So it's one of those things. I think it's another part of the fear and guilt, blood magic, mind control matrix, because they want you to believe that not only are you hooked and can't get out, when you can get out just as easily as you got in, all you have to do, and you know this, Joe, I'm speaking to other people, is just verbally recant. I reject, I recant, I cancel the contract I made. I throw the father out. I throw the son out. I throw everyone that came in with them out. I cancel. I have nothing to do with the blood. I'm divine. I'm sovereign. I'm free. I don't have original sin. And even if they were right and it did through your, and again, think about it, Joe, that is against free will. Just because you accept something doesn't mean that the rest of your family has accepted it. So they're just trying to scare you. They're just trying to mess with you. It's a great question. And I think that was a pretty decent answer as well. So thanks for that call. Always, always a really good call from Joe Sapiens. And it's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, how's it going, Jeffrey? Hey, I watched the weather, right?
Yeah.
And so I was wondering if you're like facing that Arctic outbreak yet.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's in fact, my ears got chapped doing the polar plunge. It's like 10 degrees here. So yeah, it's getting really cold.
And that's with that wind chill.
That's without the wind
God.
chill. Yeah. That's just that's just the ambient temperature.
All right. Have you heard the news, Jeffrey? I know you go online a lot. China flew a plane over the North Pole and disrupted the polar.
Yeah, you mentioned that last night, I think.
Okay, well, I heard that. I don't know, right? I don't think China's actually doing this. I think China's being destroyed by weather weapons.
I think that's a good argument. You can make that argument for sure.
But anyway, so we're facing this like 10-day storm. So anyway, everybody buckle up, man. That's all I can say.
All right. Yep. Everybody cuddle up and snuggle up and stay warm.
I think it's a weather weapon.
I wouldn't argue with you on that. I think it could be a weather weapon too. And thanks for calling. I appreciate it. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeffrey. It's great to listen to you. I'm pretty new. I've only been listening to you for about a week. My name is Lucas.
Hey, Lucas. Having a tiny bit of a hard time hearing you.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you better now.
Okay. I'm just saying I appreciate your show. I haven't been listening for too long. I love everything you say. And,
thank you.
Listen to Mike King and having people on like that and people coming up with real histories. I just appreciate it. I kind of want to go back. That's what I kind of want to talk about with this call. There's so many things I could talk about, just in the topics that you've brought up that I've listened to. But as far as history goes, one thing that I've determined in my research is that looking at ice core data from the plugs that are taken out, this planet gets really cold. We're riding an interglacial temperature spike currently, and we're actually at the very top of it. And it only lasts for about 10,000 years, 15, 20,000 years. Personally, I think when we come off these interglacial temperature spikes, the planet gets too cold to live on, except maybe at the equator. Living underground. You think about talk about people living underground.
Oh, that's
Maybe
interesting.
in the past, we got too cold and people have gone underground. Anyways, these usual suspects, going back through history, it's like wolves in sheep's clothing. We know, and I know that you know very well, the Romans and Christianity, the development of that, and the occupation of Palestine and all that kind of stuff. And so these people, they go back even further than that, to Babylon.
Absolutely.
They ride these cultures out. And we can see this looking at like Russia, going back through the Bolshevik Revolution and the Soviet Union. They go in, inhabit a culture, wear the sheep's clothing, take it over by all the means that we see with communism, and that we can see with Bolshevism and what happened in Russia. And then they drain it dry. I hate to say it, they kill whatever they want to kill, and they do this over and over and over again.
They're almost like a vine that goes in among the branches and chokes it out.
And you know what? No matter what we do, we've never been able to kill this out. We had a small period of revolutions in the 1700s, and this kind of made them change their tactics in a way, but it didn't do anything to them in reality. And so, these people have been going back, Babylonians and the Romans and, of course, the English Empire. Now we have the Western Empire, and they're always in the sheep's clothing. And, of course, when we look at, like, Palestine, the people, the Ashkenazis, the Khazars, I saw somebody talking about the Khazars in the chat, white skin, blue eyes. We can see that people that lived in Palestine originally were not white skin and blue eyes. And so they're inhabitants or occupiers.
Absolutely.
Goes on.
Absolutely.
Right now, they're doing this to white people. The whole idea of white supremacists. Well, they've come in, occupied, the culture, acting like whites, and now they're turning it on the white culture, blaming on it. Well, in reality, anybody, of course, that a white skin that's not of wealth and means has had no part in any of this that we know about, going back centuries and centuries of all this.
I call it the other white meat. And the people that need to know what I mean. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeffrey. How you doing tonight? Shane.
Hey, Shane. What's up?
Hey, not much. Great show this week. It's been exhilarating, very thought-provoking, the whole JFK. I had a question for you about what your thoughts were around soul contract revocation. I mean, I know the power of personal affirmations and things like that. And you say a lot of things that remind me of soul contract revocation. What are your thoughts around that?
I think that's just a fancy term for just undoing what you did. And I think it's absolutely 100% right. My sense is that when we start calling it like soul contract revocation, we might be, over plumbing the house. So I'm just simple, just cancel everything you said. And if it was a verbal contract, cancel it verbally.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. But, going back to like 2013, 2014, 2012 area, there was just a big, there was a big wave of that kind of nomenclature. And
yeah, I think that was a little bit before I got into this. So I think I started into this about the end of 2014-ish. So yeah, I missed that wave.
Oh man, yeah, it's a bit very. I traveled the country and I actually met a girl at a conference, and one of the conferences was the Return to Atlantis conference in 2013. And you get 90 eclectic people together. It's just bound to be. It's just very fascinating.
Was there any naked fire dancing going on?
Very close on the beaches of Sarasota. Very close. I mean, maybe there was some people getting naked and I missed out, but yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go. We've
right. Well, keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care. Every time we talk about a conference, somebody wants to talk about dancing naked around a fire. So I'm not here to say I endorse that, and I'm not here to say that I'm against that. So you do what you do. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty, and so am I.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi.
I just was thinking about something. This is so crazy. But what if, just hypothetically speaking, every single murder that's on television for us to see is staged, or like you've said before, it's not what we've had that we do to make us bad, it's what's been done to us.
Right. That's white Dianetics.
Right. So would you ask the Rods if Chris Watts was part of the Illuminati?
Sure. Was Chris Watts part of the Illuminati? It says yes. I don't even know who Chris Watts is.
He's the one that murdered his family in Colorado.
Yeah, I missed that one, but it says that, and part of the Illuminati could be that he was influenced by the Illuminati too, huh? Or controlled by the Illuminati. Right. Good point. Is every single murder we see on TV staged? We know so many of them are. Why wouldn't they all be?
Right. Just to get our emotions and feed off of that.
Great question. Great call. I really appreciate it. Are all the murders? Interesting. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Jeffrey, yeah, this is Sandalphon at Mount Shasta.
Hey, what's up?
Well, somehow when I call you, we're in the middle of a conversation and we lose the connection.
Well, there's a reason for that, because when we get to a stopping point in the conversation, I will end the conversation and move on to another call, because we have tons of people lined up to talk. So we don't get cut off.
I'm glad you're putting me on that button and I don't have a confusion about the phone. But anyway, thank you for that, Nana Soma. I'm on that.
Oh, perfect. You'll love it. You'll love it.
I appreciate you talking about Senator Joseph Kennedy. It was a fucking conversation you had. And I don't know, I'm just glad I have to stay up all night in California and listen to your show. What an education you have for everybody. So
thank you so much. I appreciate it. I have to stay up all night. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. Please turn down the radio. I'm a little confused though, because it's earlier in California than it is here. But anyway.
This is John in Tulsa.
Hey, John, what's going on?
Well, I just wanted to bring up a really beautiful song, and that I think the man that sang it was killed because he was too close to the truth, and that is Imagine.
Ah, John Lennon, huh?
Yeah. And when you think about that song, all the people being as one, and
yeah,
I mean, it just does away with religion, and and the guy that killed him, he had a pretty high up family, came from one of these
he did
close to the government families, didn't he? Kind of wonder about those things.
It does make you wonder. The song that John had that really spoke to me too was watching the wheel go round and round.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of where we are until we decide to get off the merry-go-round, and just had to let it go.
Well, right on. I'll tell you one other thing just quickly. When I left the organization, the church organization I was in, I got up, and my last talk, I got up in a testimony meeting, and I said, I love the people in the church, but I just don't like a lot of the doctrines.
Yep.
And now I know why. I mean, that's your talk tonight about doctrine.
Absolutely.
I was on the right track all along. I knew I just love people. I don't need a religion to love people and be divine and sovereign and free. You don't need it.
You don't. And you were right all along. You were right all along. Thanks, John. I just had to let it go. Me too. I can't hit that note, but it's fun. I tried. We had a good time. Speaking of a good time, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to have a good time, put away some shekels for yourself. Help old Jeff expand this message of unindoctrination. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on that Mint Builder logo. You can go on the low end, about $20 a month, save you some silver every month. I went all the way up on the high end. This is one I just got today, a 2-ounce Krugerrand limited edition. So we're stacking some of bullion and the collectibles. It's worked for 5,000 years. I'm not a financial analyst. I can't promise anything, but check it out, folks. And besides, it's cool to look at like shiny silver things too. We're stacking silver because we think it's undervalued. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. And it's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Howdy, Jeffrey. It's Last Answer.
Hey, how are you?
I'm really enjoying the chat right now. There's so many intelligent people on this show. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and the songs we were talking about, somebody's asking, were Imagine by John Lennon and Watching the Wheel Go Round and Round by John Lennon.
Wow. Those are two heavy duty songs.
They are heavy duty songs. So what's on your mind tonight?
Yeah. So, well, I wanted to note something and then I want to ask a question. Okay. So I want to ask two questions. I just realized they're both questions, but they're kind of observations. The first one is, the duality game, the black and the white, right? And then there's the gray. Some people say the gray, or some people call it the red, which is kind of like the puppet master.
Okay.
Are we, like, how far are we out of the loop of the puppet master?
Can't ask that from the rods. They only do yes or no. Laugh to answer.
Okay, so what I'm asking is you. What do you think?
Way out.
And, it's like that whole thing with the Christianity. It's really, Christianity.
That's okay.
It's really like that is the yoke around their neck.
And they don't know it. And it even says it's a yoke. They tell them it's a yoke. Oh, it's it's a light easy. It's an easy yoke. It's not a burden. Why do you want a yoke at all? Why do you want a collar at all? I'm not going to put on a collar. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So then the question I have for the rods is a little different. I'm going to ask if
all of your questions for the rods are a little different.
Okay. Okay. The one for the rods is there a possibility there's two things? I'm not going to name those two things, but are these two things happening at the same time, and that we just don't have the perceptions yet to figure out that there's something even more bigger than what we're seeing?
Okay.
Is that true?
What's the answer to her question? It's yes. There you go, laugh to answer. That's the answer to your question. All righty then, ladies and gentlemen. Boy. Let's go to the phones. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hi, Jeffrey. This is Rex from Houston.
How's it going, Rex?
I'm doing all right. So this might be crazy, but yesterday you have a caller that had a dream, and that night I also had a dream, and it's about. So it's gonna let me get to the highlight of it. So the dream I had was I saw Donald Trump, and he's gonna do a full disclosure, and I also saw a bomb. It's like a nuclear bomb And I woke up and I was watching something on YouTube, and it was about John, the time traveler. I forgot his last name, but he was saying that Russia is going to send a EMP missiles, and it's to help us, the people, because the government is trying to send out a nuclear bomb and all this stuff against the people.
That's
And
interesting.
yeah, that's interesting. So, and the time traveler said that in his time that it happened, and he went back to retrieve the IBM computer. I think it was like the 2100 computer, and it had a code that will fix the Y2K bug. And he sent out the program, and I had a degree in computer electronics, and I was working on a gray code, which is a machine language for the electronics. And so he had came back from the timeline, and he said that the Y2K bug as a patch for the Windows, or not the Windows, but the CMOS, which is like on the motherboard.
Right, right. And what's
yeah.
the kind of the bottom line of all this? Because you're talking over our head a lot.
Yeah, so I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But I'll send you an email with the
Please
details.
do. I'd love to see that, because I can think of those abstract concepts a lot better when I can read
Right.
them. And I know you know what you're talking about, and I want to hear what you're
Yeah.
saying, but it's just kind of hard with this format.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No worries. Let me ask you a
I
question before you go. When you had that dream, was it early? Was it as you just fell asleep, or do you think it was later on in the night?
I think when I fell into a deep sleep.
Yep.
like
So that might have
yeah.
been a
So-
good data dream. That might have been some good solid data. I look forward to your emails. That's interesting stuff. And I don't respond to the trolls in chat. And stop being a little snivelly baby. If you had the balls, you would pick up the phone and make a call. But you've said it so many times that if you were on YouTube, I would ban you from the channel, but I can't because you're on Facebook. But you're a snivelly little baby. Who cares if I got rid of your post? You're saying something that's wrong and stupid. You're saying that I'm a hypnotist. Well, if you knew anything about me, you would know that I'm 100% against hypnotism. Now, I have been trained as an Ericksonian hypnotist. I am a master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, but I will not hypnotize anyone or even attempt to hypnotize anyone because it lowers their analytical mind, and that's when Ingrams can get in. You obviously are full of Ingrams because you act like a child and you're stupid and you're an idiot, and the only reason I haven't canceled you is because I can't. So why don't you please shut up and go do something else? Is your life so pathetic that you got nothing better to do at this time of night than jab at somebody that has forgotten more about hypnotism than you'll ever know, you stupid bitch? It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing? It's Mike.
Oh, no, David Gomez. He said he had a dream about Nancy Pelosi. I'm so sorry to hear that. What's on your mind, brother?
That's horrible. Hey, you know how all the presidents get underground bunkers?
Yeah.
And whether you're a good president or not, you get a literally nuclear safe, live for 10 years, underground bunker.
I didn't know that, but I mean, I guess I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, apparently Obama has one of the biggest, best, longest ones of all time. So when you were talking earlier about the polar stuff and society's going underground, maybe these people are either planning or know about it, and that's what they're doing, because aren't all presidents supposedly related or bloodline?
Well, that's another piece of the lore. Who knows? Whether it's true or not, I don't really know.
But the fact that they said Obama's was supposedly one of the biggest and the best underground, where he could literally live under there for up to 10 years without ever coming up, with fresh air and electricity and everything, makes you think.
Well, maybe they said that Obama has a really big cavern because Big Mike has been jamming something in it for so long. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
I think you might be right.
It's possible. But, I've never heard that about the presidents. I really haven't. And it makes sense.
They all get bunkers. They all get bunkers.
Wow. Why don't they just they should trade the bunker off when some of them die, because Reagan don't need a bunker anymore, right? He's got a grave.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Interesting
Right,
stuff. Points to ponder, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Points to ponder. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Wow. Thanks for holding on so long. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
No problem. Is it okay if I talk about Imagine for a moment?
Absolutely.
Well, it's a beautiful song for sure, but I've listened to a lot of Dick Gregory, and somewhere in there he said that he wrote that song, those lyrics.
That Dick Gregory wrote them?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But then when you I got to remember where. I've listened to so many of these Dick Gregory things, like hundreds and hundreds of hours. He's really cool.
He's very smart.
Yeah, but if you listen to that song though, it's like it's like an atheistic communist utopian song.
Or is it against Christianity? Because when I listen to it, I hear it being against Christianity and for embracing of divinity. But some people hear it and they say, "Oh, it's atheistic." I don't see it as atheistic. That's just me, though.
I think it's what you're geared towards.
Yeah.
So in other words, I believe in a God, but this says, imagine there's no God in heaven. It doesn't.
Well, I think he's talking about that particular rat bastard God that has fucked everything up. That's just my take on it. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you what's right about a song. You hear what you hear, and I hear what I hear. That's one of the beautiful things about music.
Yeah, it's very vast interpretation, and especially with that song. And so you get, I just think of it as a great, classic, beautiful song, one of the best in history. And you can take out of what you want. So,
but it's also kind of hypocritical because John's talking about not owning anything, and he was rich as shit. And I didn't see him giving all his stuff away.
That's common.
Yeah, I get you.
And so that's all. And that's what I'm saying with Dick. They said Dick Gregory kind of, once John Lennon hung out with him for the weekend or whatever he did, he had a really kind of big opening up, of his whole trip. So yeah, that was interesting.
Interesting.
And that was from Dick Gregory.
That's a cool song. That's a cool story, bro. Brah. Right. Thanks. I appreciate it. All righty. It's late night in the Heartland, and you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Jeffrey, I'm calling from Baltimore, Maryland. How the hell are you?
I am doing great. What's going on in Baltimore?
Shit. We got some snow on the ground. Nothing
Hey, what
crazy.
happened to that girl, that really classy, smart black girl that was running for, I think, Congress there? I bet she won that damn race and they stole it from her.
They, Kim Klacik.
Yes, she impressed the shit out of me.
Beautiful, was doing all the right things, but just wasn't in her cards, man.
I think they stole it from her. There's no way that people didn't vote for her. Who is black that wouldn't vote for her? And then there's so many white people that would vote for her. She was classy, smart, bam, hot. Dude, she had it all.
What do you think about I got a little ahead of myself here for a second.
That's okay.
What if, in regards to evolution, you know how it stops at humans as us being the smartest ones, right?
Well, I'm not a big believer in evolution, but I'm following your concept.
Okay. So let's just say Charles Darwin, he's not on that evolutionary chart. Who's to say that whales and dolphins have gone further than we have ever gone? And that's why they talk through telepathy. And
I got one problem with that. Let's say that you're a dolphin, right? And in your world, it's a great call. I'm going to close off the show at midnight, so I'm going to let you go right now. Let's say you're a dolphin, right? And you're supposed to be smarter than the humans in your theory, and it goes on. But if dolphins are so damn smart, why the fuck are they always getting caught in tuna nets? If I'm a dolphin and I am way beyond the level of humans, look, if I'm swimming in the ocean and I see and you know those nets are hard to see. If I'm swimming in the ocean and I see a bunch of tuna, I'm going to get the fuck out of there because I know that there's bitches that are trying to catch tunas with nets, and I don't want to get caught in no net. So if a dolphin was so damn smart, then how come they don't see a tuna and get the fuck out of Dodge? They get caught up in these fucking nets. And if I was a tuna, a dolphin, why would I swim to Japan where they're killing my ass if I'm so smart? But personally, I miss that dolphin flavor in my tuna from when I was a child. It's just not the same anymore. I like a little dolphin in my tuna. What can I say? It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, it's your original first time live caller, Emerald Eagle here.
Hey, what's up, man?
I just got a question for the rods tonight, my
All right.
brother.
What is it?
I want to know, was Y2K the initiation of artificial intelligence?
Ooh. Yes, it was, say the rods.
Wow. Profound.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, it went off. Boom. I like it. I like it.
Thank you so much. I love you, brother.
Hey,
Stay up.
I appreciate you so much. Thanks for calling. That was an awesome call. All right, this is probably our last one. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
One more thing about the John Lennon, Watching the Wheels. That's my favorite song.
That's mine too.
That's a good song. That's Buddhism. And then that's also, it goes into whatever you want to look at, Don Quixote with the windmills or the
yeah. With me, it's kind of like
wheels.
getting off of the merry-go-round that is Christianity, getting off the merry-go-round, which is reincarnation, and just off that thing. And now you're just watching that shit roll. You're outside of it. You're beyond it. And I just had to let it go.
That's true. But when you filter that through the burgeoning,
You can't tell me what I think what the wheels go round means is wrong, and I can't tell you what the watching the wheels go round is wrong to what you believe. Dude, it's my world, and that song is playing in my world, and my world, that's what it means. You know I'm joking with you. We are out of show. We're going to cut it off tonight at midnight. We've had 2 hours of podcast excellence. No commercials. Who loves you, baby? That's me. Folks, you got to remember, you're not born with original sin. You've got the spark of divinity within. They're my wheels, says Jesus Spatula. That's right. You're divine. You're sovereign. You're free. And you don't have to go to anybody else's bitchy little plastic savior on bended knee. I appreciate every one of you, even you broke back bitches who can't quit me. Until tomorrow night, and probably between now and then, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. This is Late Night in the Heartland. I want to thank you for making my day, and keep your eye out for big content on this channel. Nice to see some older folks and some newer folks. I appreciate you very much. And I'm about to bust, but I'm going to try to sit here through the song so I could do the salute, because I know some of you would miss it if I didn't do it. Great crowd tonight. Great calls tonight. And this is just a great show. And I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. Lucky for her, I lost her name because I was going to out her. And I don't answer the phone after the show, ever. So you can stop calling now.